Welcome to the Mary Frances Early College of Education Convocation for Spring and Summer 2026 graduates. My name is Denise Spangler, and I have the honor of serving as Dean of the Mary Frances Early College of Education. The college was founded in 1908 to bring teacher education to the state of Georgia. Since then, we have grown and matured as a college, branching out into fields as diverse as speech pathology, exercise science, sport management, and student affairs leadership. In 2020, the college was named for Mary Frances Early, the first African American graduate of UGA. It is an incredible honor for our college to bear her name, and we are aware that we must all hold ourselves to the high standards and ideals Ms. Early exemplifies. The mission of the College of Education is to enhance the well-being of society through teaching, research, and service. We are committed to accomplishing this mission by using innovative approaches to teaching, conducting research that makes a difference, and improving the lives of people in Georgia and beyond. We achieve our mission through the hard work and dedication of our 4,000 students, 800 of whom are graduating this semester, and our 210 faculty and 130 staff members. Graduates, I want to share a few statistics to help you put into perspective what you have achieved. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 23% of the people in the United States hold a bachelor's degree, 10% have master's degrees, and only 2% have doctoral degrees. Stop and think about that for a minute. You are indeed among a very special group of people for what you have accomplished. And you did not just earn a degree. Many of you have provided important service to the community, contributed to building knowledge through research, or broadened your own horizons with experiential learning opportunities such as study abroad or internships. Sitting among you are students who have started new student organizations, served as ambassadors and peer mentors, and volunteered hundreds of hours with organizations on campus and in our community. Some of you earned your degrees while working, taking care of your children or parents, or blazing your own trail as the first person in your family to attend college or graduate school. While you have indeed accomplished something extraordinary by earning an undergraduate or graduate degree, I want you to remember that you are among a very privileged few who have had the opportunity to earn a degree. Thus, it is incumbent upon you to use your degree to make the world a better place. This is a day to celebrate you and your passion for learning and helping others. To help us mark this special occasion, we invite a graduate to address their peers at each convocation. This year's speaker is Dan Triplett, who is graduating with his Bachelor of Science in Education in Social Studies education. Dan served in the United States Navy for 8 years as an aircraft catapult operator aboard an aircraft carrier. He held multiple leadership and supervisory roles, overseeing maintenance operations and personnel teams of up to 30 sailors, coordinating schedules, training, and performance and accountability in high-risk, time-sensitive environments. He taught both in the classroom and on the flight deck, certifying personnel in equipment operation and safety procedures. Dan completed 3 operational deployments aboard the USS Carl Vinson and received 3 Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medals in recognition of his leadership, instruction, and operational excellence. During his time at UGA, Dan has served as president of the Student Veterans Association, as an inaugural Berkman Scholar supporting student success and engagement initiatives in the Student Veteran Resource Center, and as a research assistant with the Veterans Oral History Project through the Special Collections Library. After graduation, Dan will remain at UGA to complete his master's degree in social studies education through the Double Dog program. Dan's academic excellence and service orientation exemplify the best of the Mary Frances Early College of Education. Dan, please come to the podium.
What an introduction. Good morning, class of 2026. We finally made it to this day. Dean Spangler, I want to thank you for creating a place that pushes us towards excellence, or reminding us that our differences are what make us stronger. That's something we'll carry far beyond today. I want to take a quick moment to thank the people who helped me get here. To my wife, Jordan. You believed in me when I couldn't see what was next. To my family, you've always been there, no matter what life through my way. To the Student Veterans Association, you gave me purpose and reminded me what it means to lead. To my professors and cohort, social studies education has a bright future because of you. And finally, to my students and mentor at Cedar Shoals High School, you shaped me more than you know. Thank you. Now, class of 2026, some of you may have looked up here and thought, who is this 30-year-old man? And why is he on stage? And honestly, I've thought the same thing. Because a few years ago, I never would have imagined being here with all of you. At 18, most of you came to college ready to chase your dreams. And at 18, I signed my life away and joined the Navy. I spent 8 years trying to figure out my purpose. I deployed 3 times, traveled more nautical miles than I can count, helped launch thousands of aircraft off the deck of a carrier, and did it all with little sleep, a lot of pressure, and plenty of uncertainty. And somehow, none of that prepared me for a classroom. Nothing prepared me to step into a class full of 25 8th graders who all have a million questions, want to show you their new dance moves, or all asking for a Jolly Rancher that I just don't have. Flight operations don't exactly translate to working with high school seniors or knowing what to do when your student walks in crying because their parent was deported the night before. This work is unique. It's complicated. It's complex. And sometimes it's just a little chaotic. But that's what connects all of us. Whether it was student teaching, internships, clinicals, or field experiences, we've all been stretched. We've all had moments that didn't go as planned. We've all felt the anxiety, the doubt, and the fear of stepping into something new. We didn't all study the same thing. We all chose work that puts people first. And through all of that, we've learned something bigger. We've learned that our work is about people. And because of that, success for us looks different. It's not just about titles or accolades. It's about the impact we have on others. It's about the student who finally believes in themselves, the team that grows because of your leadership, the person who is better off because you showed up and cared. There's a quote from Medal of Honor recipient Gary Bykirk that really changed how I think about leadership. He states, "You'll never truly lead anybody until you learn to serve. And you'll never truly serve anybody until you learn that there is something greater than yourself." That's what we've been preparing for. Not just jobs, but lives of service. So as we leave here today, I want to challenge you with something simple. Something my cohort would like to call a little Unk advice. Do it afraid. Take the job you think you're not prepared for. Step into the classroom and make it yours. Lead the team that you've been dreaming about. Have the tough conversation with someone who's having a hard time. You don't have to have it all figured out, because that fear you feel, it means you care. It means it matters. What you've learned here has prepared you for this. So when you step into what's next, whether it's a classroom, a clinic, an organization, or something completely unfamiliar, do it afraid. Because in those moments, you must remember this: you are capable, you are prepared, and you are ready. And if no one has told you yet, I will. I believe in you, and I can't wait to see what you do next. So as we say our goodbyes, know that we don't just disappear. We move forward, but we will always be Georgia together. Congratulations, class of 2026, and go Dogs.
Thank you, Dan, both for your remarks and your service. At this time, I would like to recognize a special alumna of our college, Dr. Joyshri Ghosh. Dr. Ghosh earned her PhD in Gifted and Creative Education in 1980 under the direction of Dr. Paul Torrance, who advocated for educators to separate notions of intellect and creativity, arguing that creativity is distributed among all people. Dr. Ghosh had a 25-year career as a teacher of the gifted and serving as head of school for a number of independent schools, and she has been a generous supporter of our Torrance Center for Creativity. She now serves as president of Offsite Insights, where she provides coaching and consulting to individuals and organizations seeking or experiencing transformation and change. She works primarily with education and nonprofit organizations. When she graduated in 1980, Dr. Ghosh was unable to attend her own graduation. So today, we're making it possible for her to have that experience 46 years later. At this time, Dr. Anna Abraham, Director of the Torrance Center for Creativity and Professor of Educational Psychology, will join me to hood Dr. Ghosh, an experience that she missed 46 years ago. Now we turn our attention to recognizing our graduates who have earned bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, or specialist degrees this semester or in the summer. The graduates will approach the stage from the audience's right and will be introduced by department and degree, but please keep in mind that the graduates will not necessarily be called in alphabetical order. Dr. Nina Santos, Clinical Associate Professor of Communication Sciences and Disorders, will read a description of each department as its graduates are introduced.
We begin our recognition of graduates this morning with the Department of Mathematics, Science, and Social Studies Education. Graduates of this department have expertise in curriculum, instruction, assessment, and the use of technology in teaching mathematics, science, or social studies in pre-K through 12 schools, higher education, and informal education settings such as museums and botanical gardens. Graduates have earned degrees in mathematics education, science education, or social studies education.
Dan Thomas Triplett. Braden G. Thomas. Samuel K. Browning. John Benjamin Bray, Jr. Margaret S. Gallion. Madison Kate Perry.
Isaiah Grace Blas Farron.
Aaron D. Higgins.
Xander Estes.
Brecklin R. Brown. Willow Macy Smith. William E. Wilkinson. Olivia Morgan Suma. Adriana M. Ledger. Janae F. Pipkins. Alexander W. Cooper. Jacob S. Thompson. Desmond Yoon. Harley Daniel Bass. Natasha C. Gerard. Caitlin Y. Lee. Jordan M. Maxwell. Abigail Rachel Norton. Kelly Brooke Young. Ethan J. Puchalski. Riley E. Moore. Lauren Christine Orick. Ashley Y. Chavez Nandi.
Sophia Chica Salazar. Melanie Faye Shamaria.
Tyson William Ray.
Stuart C. Schrader.
Jacob Lonsford.
Camilla Varela.
Colin J. Carnes. Keegan J. McDonald. Kenneth C. McCauley. Leo Lee. Jason Albritton.
Our next graduates have earned degrees from the Department of Workforce Education and Instructional Technology. These new alumni will continue the department's focus on innovative teaching, research, and service in learning, design, and technology and in workforce education.
Summerlin Kershane Tao.
Alexis Nicole Myers. Patricia Presley Jorgensen. Carrie Sickard. Catherine T. Brown.
Gloria New.
Ani Washington. Tequila A. Beckham.
Our next group of graduates have earned degrees from the Department of Educational Theory and Practice. This department prepares its alumni for careers as educators and researchers focused on children and adolescents, their families, and their communities. Students graduating from this department have earned degrees in elementary education or middle grades education.
Isabella Sofia Diaz. Sarah N. Lang. Addison Grace Brantley.
Anna Sophie Shukovsky.
Ella Grace Higgins. Laura J. Conway. Emma Kate D. Elwert. Lauren Ashley Pace. Leanna G. Smith. Catherine A. Craig. Darcy Michaela Dillard.
Lena Michaela Brown.
Nicole Offsey.
Jordana M. Scheinman.
Katie A. Sclair. Emma G. Allis. Amelia Grace Hendricks. Danielle Wynn Applegate. Brandon J. Fineout. Mercedes Carmen Martinez. Catherine Grace Cartwright. Catherine E. Lamb. Andrea Victoria Prieto. Angela J. Schwerin. Kennedy H. Andrews. Cameron A. Vaughn. Felicity Jordan Gill. Shanna Sabine Isaza. Ebony Monique McDonald. Eve Hicks. Anna Jean Weiser. William Blake Brown. Connor Eric Dotson. Aiden Gibson. Lillian C. Sisla. Emily Guadarrama. Antoinette Robinson. Amina Mohammed. Ava M. Cruz. Lucy Elizabeth Linehan. Catherine E. Dunphy. Caroline A. McBrayer. Addison E. Lee. Mercedes M. Cassidy. Megan E. Miller. Riley Catherine Gallagher. Riley Lauren McCall. Maggie Michelle Morrison. Caitlin Rose Cacavella.
Yan Wu.
Morgan Catherine Keller. Catherine Wells Dodson. Jenny V. Leifson. Mary Lee Jenkins.
Eliza G. Procillo.
Cheslin Adale Stratton. Taylor Carol Calloway. Anna Caitlin Hayworth. Mackenzie Lane Poitras. Ellie Grace Graham. Emma M. Cooley.
Brianna L. Pittman.
Eva Grace Studdard.
Emily Ann Evans Rogers.
Carly Faith Odell. Katie Nicole Kersey. Catherine G. Popel.
Nina S. Olette.
Isabella G. Hale. Karen Gutzin Lopez. Sarah Elizabeth Castillo. Chloe Jace Holcomb. Cassidy Brooke Scoggins. Harper J. Tidwell. Lily Madeline Childs. Laurel Christine O'Brien. Samantha Favreau. Meredith A. Bell. Kenzie C. Nunn. Haley G. Miller. Miranda Elizabeth Goodman. Jaslyn A. Price. Peyton Taylor Gaines. Sterling O'Neill. Abigail R. McElrath. Lauren Lamphere. Taylor Ryan Cooper. Anna Elizabeth Castro. Zoe Lynn Smith. Emily Nicole Smith.
Eder Yair Sanchez Reyes.
Charlotte Julia Mixon. Natalie Winters Allen. Miranda Ashley Obrero. Carly Dillon Neesmith. Delia P. Kitchens.
Next, we recognize graduates of the Department of Communication Sciences and Special Education. These new alumni are research-based professionals who focus their efforts on meeting the individual needs of people who can benefit from multiple approaches to teaching, learning, and communication. Graduates have earned degrees in communication sciences and disorders and special education.
Ansley P. Morrison. Elizabeth E. Ryan. Maria Angela Birozes. Leslie Ann Bonner. Myra Catherine Cohen. Taryn Nicole Powell.
Ansley Shane Rooks.
Kaylee G. Hammond. Caroline Grace Mutter. Kristen Bowling Milne. Kaylee Rose Helton. Abby C. Bellflower. Remy Elizabeth DeLong. Mia Josie Gratzer. Riley Claire Cardwell. Riley E. Anderson. Maggie Ellen Kemp. Lane E. Schmidt.
Kaylee Stanfield.
Madeline E. Larson. Georgia Lee Burton. Taylor Grace Lindberg. Caroline E. Brubaker. Anna P. Mincy. Emma Orden.
Catherine Fowler Fuselier.
Lane Francis Bertholf. Olivia A. Hay. Audrey L. Thomas. Gracie C. Puckett.
Rachel Jurich. Emma R. Stratman.
Olivia B. Strickland. Olivia K. Morris. Maggie E. Grace. Caitlin G. Minter. Melanie Shea Head. S. Lily Hinchy. Gabriella Juliana Sanchez. Ethan Stewart Cohn. Elise English. Audrey K. Peterson Bruns. Delaney J. Hazen. Ansley A. Calhoun. Sophie Greenberg.
Hannah Eliza Interiano.
Nandita A. Bat.
Juliana M. Henge.
Cadence G. Tyler. Colin P. Willoughby. Kylie Taylor. Brooke E. Warner.
Ashton George Ingram. Adriana Lenore Grant.
Rita Malouf. Sarah E. Blanks, Catherine E. Muldrew,
Ananya S. Kotabali,
Madeline Elizabeth Guest, Jenna A. Buchanan, Farzana Begum, Helen Yee, Erin Grace Hirsch, Cecilia Jane Frey, Emma Catherine Phelps, Delaney Grace Easley,
Anne Elizabeth Glockner,
Nathan J. Coyle, Ashlyn Nicole Joyner, Anna Miles, Abigail C. Richardson, Olivia R. Miller, Naomi J. Merritt, Amaya E. McGee, Jenna Morgan Dekich, Lauren E. Smith, Lindsay A. Baker,
Mally Elizabeth Jones, Lucia Gyunok Pham,
Julia B. Danziger, Riley Ann Panessa, Maggie E. Lyon, Madeline R. Mayo, Julia D. Kellerman, Lyndon Ruth Shelton, Chloe Horwitz, Simone Juliet Carr, Mary Frances Sessions, Madison Brooke Tetters, Carlina A. Appling, Grace Elizabeth Drury, Emma M. Stokes, Olivia A. Wingate, Yun Y. Kim,
The next graduates have all earned degrees from the Department of Language and Literacy Education. LLE has 3 areas of focus: English education, literacies in children's literature, and TESOL and world language education. LLE graduates use their expertise in teaching, learning, curriculum design, and research to enhance pre-K through 12 education and higher education around the globe.
Riley M. Fulton, Michaela Lee Holton, Adrian Cooper Schneider, Amanda N. Tony Velasquez, Morgan Christine Upchurch, Amy Isabel Gabarel, Allison Elise Jackson, Katie Ann Gregory, Tyler S. Abercrombie, Joshua T. Kincaid, Caleb J. Baldwin, William B. Harwood, Anna G. Sears, Samantha Grace Deese, Shelby Elise Thomas, Jenna K. McClendon,
Natalie Elzaroth,
Jessica L. King, Elena Marie Roper, Tatum Lane Landers, Haley Roach, Kendall G. Smith, Catherine Ellen Burke,
Rihanna D. Wilson,
Elizabeth Maeve Sermons. Sarah J. Durand. Jennifer R. Lucky. Bailey M. Kreinbrink.
Jaden C. Ginn.
Shoma J. Takano.
Next, we recognize graduates of the Department of Educational Psychology, whose graduates focus on teaching, learning, human development, and behavior. Graduates have earned degrees in applied cognition and development, gifted and creative education, quantitative methods, or school psychology.
Mary Elizabeth E. Valencia.
The next graduates have earned degrees from the Department of Lifelong Education, Administration, and Policy. These professionals will lead and improve educational programs for students in preschool through 12th grade and will serve in leadership roles in higher education, community agencies, and continuing education settings. Graduates have earned degrees in Educational Administration and Policy and Human Resources and Organizational Development.
William Sterling Carter.
We now turn to the Department of Counseling and Human Development Services. This department prepares students who will pursue careers in counseling and student affairs in a range of settings with an emphasis on underserved populations.
Mira Rosen Rachev. Samantha Lee Collier. Jordan Priester. Olivia Claire Latanzi. Emma Teresa Howard. Kate Elizabeth Gladinis. Grace Griffin Hall. Rebecca Perro.
Itzel Franco.
We conclude our recognition of graduates this morning with the Department of Kinesiology. The mission of this department is to enhance health and well-being for people throughout the lifespan through careers in allied health fields, in teaching and coaching, and in sports enterprises, as well as higher education, government, and industry. Graduates have earned degrees in exercise and sports science, sport management, health and physical education, and athletic training.
Kelly Carbaugh. Chloe Elizabeth Lucille Harbor. Ariel Mercedes Mapp Velasquez. Cameron L. Cohen. Lindsay Doherty. Guinevere R. Bika. Madison Catherine Marable. Alexa B. Hoppenfeld.
Isabella Geiser.
Macy A. Holt. Ariel F. Posen.
Olivia Kolniszewski.
Jackson J. Metz. John R. Tully. Haven Miles Sadlock. Zachary T. Kinsey. Austin Wright. Wyatt N. Kriski. Fernando Antonio Valenzuela Vidal. Braden C. Shannon. Bryson Lintz. Benjamin C. Schofield. Bailey A. Campbell. Luke Harrison Reed. Delina Tsahaye. Kendall Alexandria King. Emily J. Grimes. Blair Catherine Wallace. Mac T. Braley. Neil Patrick Burnham. Kaya Halfman. Emily G. Cogan. Samantha Teagan Ramsey. Brooks Michael Bortle. Alicia C. Magana Majano. Emily A. DePaulo. Jackson Van Dollar. Cynthia W. Wythaka. Jose Anguiano. Highland Slade Roberts. Edric J. Choi. Owen R. Garvey. Eric W. Wright. Kendall J. Kemp. Olivia Riley Tallarico.
Sanaya T. Muller.
Ethan W. Bernhard. Ayomide F. Aw. Riley Hamilton. Maria Fernanda Contreras Martinez. Valeria Suarez. Susanna Kate Yonk. Emma Kate Robinson. Owen Lewis Hogan. Kylie Schulman. Macy E. Kristen. Justin A. V. Abson.
Austin Tolley.
Jerry C. Gerald. Richard Seth Andrews. Luke Johnson. William Edwards. Cameron T. Strange. Isabella Worth. Kirsta B. Trammell. Lucy May Wesnowski. Jocelyn Sky Kent. Mary Catherine Daniel. Colby T. Yancey. Kylie Mia Hernandez. Catherine Jane Borner. Carly Lynn Haben. Hayla Addison Jeffs. Marcel Emmanuel Parks. Andrew D. Johnston. Andrew J. Cook. Ronald M. Green. Ryan J. Hughes. Michael Patrick Dagenhart, Jr. Rebecca Elizabeth Parham. Mitchell Preslin.
Rachel Sarah Lee.
Abigail Duffy. Sarah Grace McNeely.
Benjamin S. Minear.
Nicholas A. Mitchell. Jackson Harris Abbey. Owen L. Exley. Nicholas Graham Ryder. Grant C. Sinise. Caroline J. Hodges. Trey Pelletier.
Mia Lauren Bazile.
Peyton Broadnax.
Kaylin Brianna Spratling. Anna Pope Robinson. Elizabeth A. Blanco. Aaron S. Blank. Tyler A. Cox.
Charles H. Suchman.
Brandon N. Doyne. Zachary Spencer Shores. Kyle M. Stevenson. Hampton Dent Jackson. Brenton G. McGinnis. Jessica Flores. Alex M. Sangster.
Arish Ali Valiani.
Michael W. St. John III. Jonathan William Wisniewski. David Jeremiah Greer. Carson L. Brantley. Hannah R. Audain. Michael Aaron Cass. Jacob R. Ledbetter. Nathan S. Dimas. Jacob B. Blackburn. Trevor Hayden Rakosnik. Julia Janet Zazueta.
Anedra Naomi Campbell.
Gracie Elizabeth Fields. Caleb D. McMillian. Aiden Lynn Ingram. Knox Beasley Bennett. Amelia M. Wilson. Allison N. Blythe. Elaine K. Akins. Mary Scott McVeigh. Ellie J. Hannigan. Brooke V. Forand. J.D. Christine Burrell. Audrey H. LaFramboise. Carly Ann Blackwood. Marissa I. Lambert. Molly LaRue Spotorno. Olivia Rotolo. Camille Fletcher. Simeon I. Wilson. Sailor Vic. Emma C. Jackson. Julia Gray Wells. Madison A. Huss. Jenna L. Bennett. Jacob J. Honan. Abigail M. Gibbons. James Barrett Trotter Jr. Olivia Grace Lempner. Caitlin M. Fearley. Uthra Balamarugan. Anna Kate Bell. Lauren Clemente. Lindsay Grace Sykes.
Lila A. Huffman.
Avery Little. Kaylin Michelle Lovinggood. Hannah Marie Sullivan. Sean Dylan Hunt. Grace E. Hamrick. Savannah Hope Blevins. AJ Rodriguez.
Emma Catherine Phillips.
Jacob Gilbert. Harrison D. Cleveland. Julia May Tuttle. Autumn Elise Jowett. Michaela M. O'Halloran. Alicia Obdulia Rodriguez. Christina M. Thompson. Elizabeth Jeriana Pepe. Finley Aaron Tabb. Catherine R. Kennard. Zoe J. Zimmerman. Ashton K. Van Horn. Sebastian Jose Rivera. Carson Kennedy. Keegan T. Street. Tayden K. Alario. Ella Louise Treadwell.
Ainsley G. Lepsinski.
Katie Nicole Rashkovsky. Macy Tamala Middleton. Avon E. Cutter. Gabriela Soares. Oscar A. Jackson.
Lily Isabella Runnis.
Sebastian T. Seamus.
Madeline J. Warren.
Sarah K. Tracy. Kate Hardin. Kate E. Crunkleton. Neely E. Cook. Avery Claire Scott. Ella C. Mason. Sarah M. Canzoneri. Allison G. Lenich. Allison Elaine DeBerry. Abby Chandler Sims. Sophia Elizabeth Cordero. Kayla C. Whitty. Jordan Elizabeth Hildebrand. Carlos D. Ferrero. Carly Catherine Pasco. Audrey E. Gray. Emily E. Durden. Jamier E. Moten. Ella R. Rother. Jackson Robert Crow. Jalea Faith Butler Marshall. Jay Wang. William Murphy Roach. Zachary M. Kornick.
Aiden M. Rathbun.
Alexandra Na. Kira Audrey May. Cadence B. Brewer. Ali Siegel. Milan K. Biswas. Jackson W. Nicholson. Mary Camille Malcolm.
Stephen Nsisianmai.
James S. Masters. Cody H. Howell. Jacob G. Maddox. Andrew Smith. Kyungjoon Min. Noah Aiden Decker. David H. No.
It's my pleasure to introduce you to the class of 2026. At this time, I would like to recognize our graduates who have earned exceptional academic honors. If you are graduating cum laude, please stand. If you are graduating magna cum laude, please stand. If you are graduating summa cum laude, please stand. Next, I want to recognize a truly stellar group of students, our first honor graduates who are graduating with perfect 4.0 grade point averages. First honor graduates, please stand. I now want to acknowledge two additional groups of students for their accomplishments. If you are a transfer student, please stand. Finally, as a first-generation student myself, those of you who are the first in your family to attend college or graduate school hold a particular place in my heart. If you are a first-generation undergraduate or graduate student, please stand. On August 16, 1962, Mary Frances Early made history when she became the first African-American graduate of the University of Georgia with a master's degree in music education, which at that time was in the College of Education. Inspired by Charlene Hunter Galt and Hamilton Holmes, who were the first undergraduates to integrate the University of Georgia in 1961, she made a deliberate choice to enroll at UGA alongside them to desegregate the graduate school. Still disappointed by the lack of diversity and persistent segregation on campus after graduating, she returned to UGA in 1967 to earn her education specialist degree in music education. In 2013, Ms. Early was presented with an honorary doctorate from UGA and was later awarded the 2018 President's Medal in recognition of her legacy and lifetime accomplishments. Ms. Early retired in 1994 after working for 37 years in Atlanta Public Schools. She later taught at Morehouse and Spelman Colleges and served as head of the music department at Clark Atlanta University. Ms. Early's impact as a civil rights icon and music educator has inspired and influenced generations of students and communities across this nation. She played an integral role in the campaign for racial equality at UGA and across the South and remains a tireless advocate in the field of education. She will turn 90 on June 14th. Yes. To celebrate your graduation from the Mary Frances Early College of Education, we have a special message for you from Ms. Early.
Hello, everyone. I want to greet Dean Spangler, other administrators, the dedicated faculty members, the proud family and friends, and most importantly, the University of Georgia Mary Frances Early College of Education graduates. Congratulations, you have arrived. You have reached your goal, and I am so very proud of you. I know that it was your hard work, your tenacity, perseverance, I call it stick-to-itiveness, all of that helped you because you must have had challenges along the way. But you've done it. And what an accomplishment. Some of you, I think, will be going into the next part of your journey as educators. Others will be part of the athletic trainers. Others will be counselors. And others will be in applied health professionals. But whatever path you choose, I hope that you will take with you the passion and the tenacity that you showed in reaching this goal. Why? Because your influence will impact hundreds of thousands of others who need your help. Those of you who will become educators will help to inspire young children and even some older with curiosity about learning, that they will want to learn. Those of you who are in the athletic trainers will support and give help to those who are athletes. And those who are counselors will provide guidance and hope to those who have life-threatening or lifestyle changes. Those who will be in applied health will support the health and well-being of millions of people. I hope that you understand that this is not the end of your journey. This is the beginning, because to commence is part of commencement. To commence means to begin. As you begin this journey, please remember that thousands and hundreds of young and old people are depending upon you to help them to shape the future. I know that your path will be fulfilling, it will be exciting, and I hope that it will be enjoyable, because that's what education is all about. Again, congratulations, give support to this wonderful school, and make sure that you remember to go Dogs.
Everyone has many reasons to be proud today and many reasons to celebrate. I want to take a moment to thank the families and friends who have supported our graduates. I also want to thank the faculty and staff members who, in ways both visible and behind the scenes, have helped our graduates achieve their goals. I want to particularly thank staff members from the Offices of Academic Programs, Undergraduate Advising, Student Engagement, Information Technology, Marketing and Communications, and Outreach and Engagement, who made today's convocation possible. Graduates, you are now alumni of the Mary Frances Early College of Education. You are a member of a community that includes over 60,000 living alumni. As exemplified by Mary Frances Early and many others, our alumni have gone on to make important contributions to Georgia, the nation, and the world. As you embark on this new chapter of your journey, remember that you possess the resilience and tenacity to overcome any obstacle that comes your way. Your experiences have prepared you to thrive in the face of uncertainty. Embrace the challenges, cherish the victories, and continue to pursue your dreams with unwavering determination. The world awaits your brilliance, and I am confident that you will make a lasting impact wherever your journey may lead. We look forward in the future to hearing with great pride about the impressive accomplishments and important contributions of the class of 2026. Please wear your MFE COE t-shirts with pride, display the blanket that's under your seat in your home or office, or if you have a friend who graduated from a school that has orange in its color, wrap them up in it. Follow us on social media, stay in touch, and let us know what you're doing. And remember the words of Mary Frances Early. In whatever your job or career path, I hope that you will make your flight reflect a love and respect for all people, because if we don't unite and work together to make good things happen at UGA and in our world, nothing else will matter. To end our ceremony today, I invite 3 of our Ambassador Executive Board members to the stage to lead the class of 2026 in Calling the Dogs. Maria Barozas, Ambassador President, Cynthia Waithaka, Vice President, and Anna Castro, Vice President of Operations. And she goes stand up there. After we call the dogs, the graduates will recess to the back of the arena and up the stairs. You may meet your graduate on the upper level. Please do not come down onto the floor. All right, let's go.